Great, let's take a look at what we have. So the first one, why are laws important? So why do we have laws, Carla? Why are they important?
Because if law doesn't exist, other people could be free of doing what it wants, like kill somebody.
Sure, so people could do, if we didn't have laws, they would just do whatever they want, regardless of anything. Does anyone else have anything to add, Monica?
Yeah, the laws are important because if we don't have laws, the people could do bad things.
For example, as Carla said, kill somebody or steal, something like that. Absolutely. But who makes these laws that we always have to follow? Aaron?
I put the law to Mariano Rajoy.
So in Spain, okay, so in Spain, Rajoy. But in general, if we're thinking overall, Victor.
First, the president make the law, and then in the parliament or something like that, they vote, and if the majority wants, the law became real.
The law becomes real, yes. So, exactly, a lot of times it's the government, right? The government starts out making the laws, then you have the House or the Senate, which we'll look at how that ties into Rome as well. Very good. Enrique?
For the next question.
Okay, tell me.
What
happens?
happens if we break the laws? You will receive a punishment, or you will become in trouble.
Yeah, so you will get in trouble, or as Aaron said, you would go to jail. Maybe you would get a fine, which I'll explain what that is. Yes, Alba.
And you have to pay money or be punished. And if it's very important, you will go to the jail.
Yep, exactly. So these are the ways that we deal with laws and punishment today. A lot of it is actually not that much different than how Romans dealt with problems and lawbreakers as well. There's some similarities and some differences. So go ahead and turn the page, and we're going to look at Roman laws and enforcement. Yes,
I want to.
okay. Before you read, I just want to say this. So Rome had a very complex structure when it came to laws. Many of their ideas are things that inspired us, not just in America, but also all over the world, okay? So who made the laws in Rome? Enrique, could you read that for us?
Yes. The Romans had a complex system of government and laws. Many of the basic systems and ideas that we have about laws and government today comes from ancient Rome. Who made the laws? Laws were made a number of different ways. The primary way of making official new laws was through the Roman
Assemblies.
Laws were voted on by citizens who were members of the assemblies. The Senate or the emperor can also make laws.
Yes, exactly. So in today's world, we have, as you said, the president or the parliament making laws. And then in Rome, we had who made the laws? Or the Senate or the emperor, right? So in that way, it's fairly similar. Larissa, could you read the next part, please?
Who enforced the laws? The laws were enforced by an official called the Praetor. The Praetor was the second highest ranking official in the Roman Republic after the consuls. To keep the laws in the city, the Romans had a police force called the
Vigils.
The vigiles dealt with
Petty crimes.
petty crimes like thieves or runaway slaves, when more force was needed, like during riots or against guns.
Yes, so right now in our current society, we have a police force. We have people that are trained and hired to take care of violent crime, to take care of a lot of things that happen. Back in ancient Rome, they didn't have a set police force. So they would hire people to come in, especially rich people would hire people to come in and sort of be the vigilantes, the people that would take care of all of this. But a lot of these people were not really well trained, so it was a very different time back then. They would say, oh, I'll pay you this money, and you can come in and take care of all the violence and all the troubles. So in that way, it's a little bit different. The Roman Constitution is where they started to really put together some laws, because up until that point, there wasn't a lot of set laws. So Albert, could you read to us a little bit about the Roman Constitution, please?
The Roman Constitution was an agreed set of principles that was followed by the Roman government. It wasn't written down in one page, but it was established in tradition and individual laws. Because many of the laws were written unwritten or unvariable for these people to see. There was much room for corruption by public officials. The people eventually revolted against the leaders, and in 450 BC, some laws were written on stone tablets for everyone to see. These laws became known as the Law of the 12 Tables. Roman citizens, many of the protections and rights given to the people under Roman law only applied to Roman citizens.
Yes, so they had a lot of these laws that they started in 1450 when they did the 12 tables, which we're going to look at, but these only applied to Roman citizens, okay? So a lot of these laws, which we'll be reading on the next page, were only for people that were actually citizens of Rome. So this leads to the last part, which is the punishment. How were people punished if they did something wrong? Liam.
What punishment you receive depending on your status. If you were a wealthy patrician, you will receive far less punishment than a slave would for the same crime. Punishment could include beating, blessing,
Exile,
from Rome,
fines,
or even death. The Roman generally didn't send people to prison for crimes, but they did have jails to hold people where they killed or punishment was determined.
yes. So how do these laws compare to our law today? So for example, it mentions in punishment that they would beat people, they would exile them from Rome. Exile means you say, go away, do not come back to Rome. And they would also fine them or even death, but they did not have jails. Is that similar or different than today's laws? If you break a law today, do you get exiled? Do you go to jail? Carla? Sometimes you go to jail, right? So in that way it's different than it was in ancient Rome, because they did not have jails to actually hold people if they did something wrong. What about for enforcing the laws? Similar or different? In today's world, we have a police force. In ancient Rome, how did they enforce it? Sophia? The Vigas protected the city. Yeah, so they're in a way a police force, but they weren't as well organized or trained as police officers. And then making the laws, that was pretty similar as well, as the Senate or the Emperor would make laws. And in today's society, right, we have the House and we have the Senate. Well, depending on where you live. In America, we have a House and a Senate and a president. So a lot of these are similar, but some of them are different. So in order for people to understand the laws, they created the 12 tables. If you turn your page to the 12 tables. So I have a couple examples of the 12 tables. There's 12, so I only put down like 6. And these were actually carved into a stone so people could actually see them. Now the problem is with the 12 tables is that there's a lot of stuff that's very strict and very serious. So we're going to look at examples. I have highlighted words that I think might be challenging for you to understand. So I'm going